I got cut, but yeah, it has everything to do with all of the symptoms leading back to bipolar. The thing about it was is that because he was doing so good when he was off of the medication, that his psychiatrist told him that maybe he was misdiagnosed. Well, that same psychiatrist that we tried to get in touch with, that psychiatrist had passed away. Um, the only thing is that I sent my husband emails of remembering this before I stopped the emails of saying, remember bipolar brothers, remember this, remember that, because when my husband had left the house, I hadn't been able to speak to him about it because I didn't know what was going on with him. And so I reached out to his family and was like, y'all know, y'all remember he was on this, and everybody was in self-denial of it. So, and far as also you asked me this question, like, what about his past relationships? Have you ever spoke to any? No, I've never have. I asked him before. He just said they didn't work out. The last girl or whatever, she was she was married, and I think the other one, well, not married, but he wasn't really talking to her. But it was one before then they were engaged, but they didn't get married, and she went off with somebody else. You got to understand too that my husband stayed out of state or whatever. And I did think, like, what if he's messing with another woman, or what's going on? Because when he came in the house, I did notice that his smell, his scent was different. I could tell he'd been outside all day or something, and I could see that his phone case was different as well. And y'all, I'm putting it all out there. He may get mad that I did this, but I'm like, I don't know when you're going to come to, or I'm praying for my husband, and I need all of the prayers I can get. So anyone that can get down on your knees and just pray for my husband, for him to have a sound mind. And I just don't know what's going to happen. I don't know. Maybe he'd look at me and hate me because I put out this information, but I want the next woman or next person to know that this thing is real. I mean, I have done so much research. Look at her, she's still up. Still up. I've done so much research in the last couple of days, weeks, on bipolar, that I am just like, why didn't I get it? And I think a lot of people need to speak about it. When I Googled, if you Google up husband left the house bipolar, if you Google it, women are like, my husband has left again. How long does it take them to come around? Some say months. One lady said it took her husband 8 months. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Other people say when their husbands are in manic states, it can take a couple of days, weeks, or whatever. So I'm like, so that's just perfect for my in-laws to get rid of me. And right now he's on his little whatever phase. And by the time he comes down or crash, he's feeling so remorseful of the things that he did. Do I know if he's going to feel remorseful? I have no idea. But like I said, I have a sister that's a year older than me. This chick, she hitchhiked all the way to Florida. I mean, she just did random things. But going back, no, I don't know about his past to see what was going on. But I will say this, that when I went to go see my in-laws, they were very sarcastic. Like when my father-in-law said, it's not our fault your relationship didn't work out. He does this all the time. And I was just like, I'm not in a relationship with him. That's my husband. So at first I was like, did he give cold feet? He couldn't have. That's not like him not to even call to say how's Symphony, not to even see what's going on. It's so not like him, to the point that he even lost his position, because you're not able to function like that. It's like a spiral. I mean, and now he's to the point where he's shutting everyone out. I don't know if he's trying to restart or regroup or start over or whatever. I don't know, but I do know this, that bipolar is so real. And it can be controllable, especially with medication, and especially if the person knows what they're going through. And I've looked up a lot of things. I mean, if y'all look up some of my like videos, I'm up here agreeing in prayer with preachers that are just like praying over this whole bipolar thing or whatever. But just to answer those questions, no, I do not know about the past history and his dating if it resulted in something. But my in-laws did mention that. So I felt like, too, that when they saw it progressing, they could have gave me heads up on it. So instead of me tap dancing, I mean, I felt like I was tap dancing on a ticking bomb. I mean, really? And when I revert back to some of the things, even when my in-laws came over and he was outside and he just didn't look, his eyebrows were he just had this worried look on his face and everything. And my father-in-law said, "Oh, he's not happy." And I'm like, "What you mean he's not happy?" Like, I think he knew that something wasn't right. And instead of him prepping me like, "Mona, look, Matthew," instead of him prepping me, they hid that from me. Like, they were waiting. They were waiting. That's the way I felt with it. And when I finally brought it to their attention that it's the bipolar, they are like, "Yeah." And instead of they're trying to sugarcoat and pussyfoot around like, "Do you think maybe you need to see someone?" "No, I'm fine." No, you need to give them the breakdown like, "Boo, this is what you like. This is what you like to do." Yeah, so, and like I said before, his comfort movies that he would love to look at night, and I would look with him, is Mystery Science Theater. I realized that that's something that really made him comfortable and soothed him. I could never understand why, but he would go to bed with it on, and then I couldn't stand it, and then I would go to bed with it on, and then I'd be like, "Not this again." And the next thing you know, I couldn't really go to bed without it on, and we'll be sitting up here joking back and forth. But how do I know that it's bipolar? Is because he was diagnosed with it. And when I met him, he told me he was bipolar. I even remember looking up little things about bipolar when I first, because he intrigued me. I thought he was just a wonderful person, and I wanted to even know what bipolar was all about. And I didn't see that in him like my sister. And we just had a really good run that we literally forgot. And he would say things like, "Well, what I'm trying to say in my mind." And I'm like, "What are you talking about in your mind? We're here talking right now." Like, I so forgot. I so forgot. And I'm going to tell you something else, too. Because I don't want people to think that, oh, bipolar is just for crazy people. Some of the most brilliant people are bipolar. Because they come up with the most brilliant ideas. But they switch so much, so quick. I mean, my husband would literally be working on a novel, right? And I'll be like, "All right," and I'll be reading it, and I'll be so into it and so into the characters. And then the next thing I know, he done switched the whole story up. And I'm mad, like, how could you do that? What about the mirror? Like, how, I mean, like that lady off of Misery, she reading the book, but of course I'm not holding him hostage or anything. I'm like, "No, stick with the book, finish it." Like, like he would make up the most brilliant things, but when it came to that, he just didn't finish it, and he'll go on to the next thing, and it'd just be like, wow. But his philosophies, his this, that, and the third. I mean, I was just so intrigued with it. But if you ever look up the history, not history, but if you ever look up bipolar, um, a lot of them have that. Like one girl, like I was saying in the last video, she felt like, shoot, she thought she wanted to be a model. She hopped on the next plane popping, and she was ready in a different state, and she was ready to drop everything and just do that. And so, yeah, they will do that. And so I found myself calling my brother-in-law, like, because I really fault. I thought a lot of the things that was dealing with my sister was his fault. And a lot of people are looking at me like it's my fault. That's what my husband's going through, because my husband has put a bad word out there, should I say, about me. And I'm going to get into that as well tomorrow over tea. And I was asking my brother-in-law, like, when did you find out Lisa was diagnosed? What did they ever say? And he said that the psychiatrist told him that it was because of her childhood. And I wanted to tell him, no, we kind of thought it was because of you, because you're pretty much like 25, 30 years older than my sister. She had babies back to back, and you wanted her barefoot in the kitchen. Like, but I didn't say any of that because now I'm realizing that it wasn't him. It was really something going on in my sister. And I had to tell sister's life, and I had to tell, well, a part of the illness. But I'm like, we had a really good childhood, me and my sister. We're only literally a year apart. My birthday is September the 3rd. Hers is September the 8th. So we're literally a year apart. So how is it that when he says the psychiatrist said she had a bad childhood, no, that's absolutely not true. So yeah, getting back with that, I do not know any of ex-girlfriends. I have never heard of any ex-girlfriends at all. It just seems like his past was completely erased, except for like maybe a couple of friends. But that's pretty much it. Like I said, he was out of state for a while, so yeah. Sometimes I be looking at these videos like, is my husband gonna be pissed that I put it out there? I don't even know. The way I look at it is this: if, like I said, especially with the asking for help with prayers and the GoFundMe, if I gotta ask for a GoFund, I gotta put it all out there, and I gotta be very transparent because this is something that I'm really dealing with, and I never saw it coming. Just like when I dealt with our babies going on with the Lord. I never saw it that I never foresaw that in my life. I was speaking to one of my friends and she was like, Mona, I don't know what to say. You going through what's wrong, taking time? What's wrong? What's wrong? I'm sleeping. I'm sleeping. She was saying that I don't know what to say, Mona. You going through things that people write about in books. I mean, this is like this is like, is this really going on? So I just want to let y'all know, y'all can't even, I'm gonna need some toothpicks to hold my eyelids open. So let me get on out of here. Thank you again. Also, thank you, Renee. I want to thank you. And also, I wanted to thank I want to just thank you for all of this because I'm reading this. You'll get through this. You'll get through this. And the power of a praying wife. Of course, like I said, I got my Holy Bible. And one of the ladies gave me this too, and this is called what is this called? This is called Hope for a Woman's Soul. So y'all, you know how you gotta daily just enrich yourself. And of course, one thing I will say, and I said it before, I thank my husband so much for the only way I can explain it, y'all, is I imagine him like on a tree, maybe on a limb, and he's holding, and he just couldn't, and he just said, I'm letting go. But I'm grateful out of everything that he held until we had her. He held on until we had her. If he would have snapped after when I had Harmony, I'll probably be in a different place in my life right now. And she's beautiful. She's gorgeous. Yeah, you're gorgeous, baby, looking like your daddy. Yeah, you look like a Valentine. Hey, pink and tiny. Pink and tiny moon. So, yeah, I got a lot of milk on me. And I hold this baby with, she be cuddle up under me, be holding her. Yeah, I spoil that baby. And she's a good baby. A good baby. Yes, you are. See, yeah, I know I am. She's a good baby. But all right, y'all, I'm going to speak to y'all. I'm about to hit the sheets real quick. Both of us are. I spoke a lot about me and Matthew, but just to let you know, dealing with this my little sunshine, it's wonderful. Even though I tote her everywhere I go, it's wonderful. She really keeps me up. She's a good baby. I'm a night owl. I think I keep her up for real, for real. She be looking at me like, Mom, let's go to bed. Come on now. Let's go to bed. Remember, I got in the car. She in the back seat. I'm like, come on, Symphony. Let's go save Daddy. Let's go get Daddy. Yeah, we got to get him. Yeah, he prayed for you. Yes, he did. He prayed for that baby. All right, y'all. Good night.